All right. Can't continue. Let's do practice. Get some action in here. I'm gonna use Gordunkus with an axe. Hold on a second. Does he really need an axe though? Let's go for it. Woo! I gotta get used to that. Oh, that must have sucked. Problem with the early game is you take so much actual damage, not just fatigue damage. Alright. One down. Well, I don't even know how that's possible. Back of the axe smack. It's a nice little tap on the head. Check out those boots. Oh, upgrading. Nah. Oh, hey, Cricket. This is one of my favorite games that will never be finished. It's been, I would say 11 years now, I think, in production. But it's completely physics run. There's no code that's going into, like, the actions of these characters. They're very ragdoll looking, but it's really 100% physics-based engine, which is really weird if you think about it. And they just add stuff to it all the time, like procedural weapons and stuff. So even the weapons are unique that you find in the dungeon. And this guy's got a little buckler, so he's pretty tedious to fight with such a slow weapon that I have. Yeah, that's a leg crunch right there. Son of a bitch. That's all you do. You smash people and you take their clothes if they're better than yours. Let's see. Almost the same impact and yet probably better damage. And we'll keep the axe. Oh, that must suck. This guy's got a maul, so if he hits me, I'll probably die. But it's so slow, yeah, I'm not even worried. Trust me, the bad guys do actually get harder. Chainmail shirt. This is going to be very tedious. See, it's based on your movement speed, which way you're walking, how heavy you are. Like, if I make a really big, tall guy, and I swing as hard as I can, you can actually, like, flip people over. If you make a really short guy, his weapon just doesn't quite have the impact, because it really is about momentum, and then the different kinds of weapons will do, like, slashing or blunt or piercing damage and stuff, which will also do impact. But like, this is mostly impact based, so you want to swing it as hard as you can, But there's like great swords and rapiers and epis and all kinds of stuff that are more like finesse based. Slowly gathering better clothing though. This is the defense rating and coverage, and since it's again completely physics based, where the weapon actually connects is exactly where it will do the damage. And so if your armor isn't covering that piece and that blade just slightly hits that shirt, it's not a hitbox. Everything is actually its own hitbox to the pixel. So it's pretty crazy. Man, I'm getting my ass kicked by this guy. Head chopped. Head chopped, sir. Play that game though. Go for the bill hook. Just missed your head. Nice. See, this guy feels like how I did against the Sword Master. Just slow and off balance. There we go. This guy's got a vastly superior weapon for duels. You can totally block, but I don't quite have the hang of it. Just trying to move in as soon as he swings, try to get a headshot, because he has the least armor there. There, something like that. Oh, that's disgusting. Look at that weapon compared to mine. Heavier, so it's going to have greater impact. It's longer, all that good stuff. So let's take that. So in the arena, your encumbrance doesn't really matter. It's kind of cheesy, but eventually in the real game, if you're wearing plate mail, you're real awkward, slow, and off balance unless you have levels and skills to make it easier for you. Leather greaves will take off my boots, but they're better. Bigger male shirt, longer sleeve. This is like a chain vest. So this will actually cover underneath my arms. Superior. These are probably better. But just depends. And this is like the novice champion of the practice arena. So once he's dead, I can move on to expert. But I don't get to take his gear. It just is over. But he has got like a glaive, which is a pretty cool weapon. It's pretty fast. One thing I noticed though is I don't have the ability to stab. So let's change this to middle mouse button. I'll go back to the arena, do practice, and now I can do expert. Better clothing underneath. Better pants. This is probably not all that different. Yeah. What's that? About the same. Better coverage on this one. We'll replace that. Here's the Volge. Oh, it's a Volge, not a glaive. I would say this 2 spiked maces for dual wielding is pretty unstoppable, but we'll keep this up for now. That's pretty cool axe. Still can't seem to stab. Let's fix this. There we go. This guy's good. The upgrades. And his axe went flying somewhere. Just for a change of pace, let's use it though, because it looks cool. Actually, this will make it easier on my brain if I make the orbit camera Q. What is Q then? Never mind. Trying to get around her defense. Going for the sword arm. Or her leg underneath her shield, because she has a pretty short shield. Her stuff's cool looking, but I don't know how much better it actually is. Once you start getting layers of armor, you just start taking the yellow damage, and it doesn't turn red. In the real game, that matters a lot, because you can't regenerate the red stuff without magic. So he did a little bit of red damage to me, but mostly just taking my capacity to fight with stamina away. Endurance, or whatever you want to call it. So the more armor you have, the more likely it's just going to be non-fatal, which is important in the actual arena, where you have like a ledger of warriors, and you'll send them into messed up fights. They'll get beaten up, and they'll lose hit points, but they won't die if they're well armored. They'll just be incapacitated. Finally, a helmet. Laminar. Some sabatons. These things are pretty solid, but they're skinny. They're barely on top of my fingers and hands there, which are, you know, you could totally hit that with an axe, and it would do the damage to the hand, not the actual plate mail. Swords are so fast in this game, they just don't do a shit ton of damage to armored people, but look how squirrely this dude is. They're like the best balanced weapons, and so you can do all kinds of crazy fast shit with it. But one good smack with a heavy impact pole arm can knock anyone out pretty good. You first, Maestro. Swinging your shit everywhere. Feint attack and then follow through. He's got fancier clothes. We'll just put them on, even though I don't think they're any all that much better. So this matters. This is slightly better coverage, better impact coverage slash everything. This is just generally a better helmet, but it is heavier. I get little shoulder plates. We're gonna take his sword because it's champion. These things are crazy. Super well balanced, so you can move real easily. The heavier your weapon is, the less sword-like it is, the less balanced it is. Your guy can't actually sidestep and move back and forth very well. And you'll see that too. I'll pick up a stupid weapon in a minute. Or if kind of traded blows there. Look at this thing though. All impact and crush. Going for it. Buckler's a real light shield, so it's easy to block most things with it. If you give your character the opportunity to hold it up. If you're swinging, he won't do it very well. He kind of passively tries to defend himself based on his skill level. And on practice mode, you don't really get to see their traits, but you get to pick them and earn them in the single player. And that gray bar shows up once you equip a shield, which shows you his ability to keep blocking. As it fills up, he's ready to keep blocking, and he'll hold the shield high and correctly, and if it goes all the way down, then he can't even pick it up. And he's off balance. That was a headshot. This dude's just got a whole setup of cool looking gear, so we'll put it all on just so he looks consistent. Why not? We'll do the green gloves too. Is he using a halberd? That's probably one of the best weapons. We're gonna go mace. This is just kind of like a tutorial for the game to show you all the equipment or examples of it, but there's way more in the dungeon than all of this. There's monsters, demons, undeads, ogres. It's pretty crazy. Probably gonna lose to this because I'm not respecting the polearm smash. The range on that pole hammer is crazy. So she's trying to get me to move in without blocking. Ugh. Even if she just taps me with the side of the stick, I'll fall over. I'm out of stamina. Crumped. Try that again. We're just gonna keep it. I'm gonna switch these though. We're gonna lead with the smasher. So he'll block with his left and sometimes his right at the same time, like that. But the flanged mace is a crushing weapon that will do a lot more damage to the shield stamina value than the piercing one would. Oh, rotate your ass. Yeah, you can mow people down too. If you just keep walking over them, keep pushing. If your character's substantially taller or heavier, you definitely can run down the smaller people. This guy is my favorite weapon in the game, though. I think the Bardache, especially when you find it like in level 2, or maybe even level 3 of the original dungeon. There's someone who actually has one. There's like an undead headsman, like executioner guy who always has it. I'm sure you could find one in like a chest or something before that. First time I found it though, it's got such an overweight power to it, because it's so top heavy with the blade. We'll keep this out. Let me see what the switch weapon is real quick. I haven't played this game in like a year or two. R. That should be easy. The Bardache you can make people straight up do flips with sometimes. The tip of it's messed up. Like, it's moving so fast, which actually matters in this game. You can get running so fast you'll trip on like a small rock in the dungeon and you'll barrel over tables and shit. It's hilarious. Oop. He's not falling for it. There you go. Oop. Gotta get better at aiming my down smack. My guy's a good height for hitting the fucking legs of these guys, though. Bardache superior. Just teach my twin the lesson. To the face. Come on. Go for it. Just out of reach. So you can feint, like you can start an attack and abandon it real quick, then mess a dude up, so he tries to block and then you can continue the attack a different way. It doesn't look like much, but when you're playing it's super useful. You get him to raise their arms, then you can go in for the side smack. Missed. It's my ass now. He's gonna stab me. Back of the heel shot. At least I get to keep my junk. Yeah. This guy is not armored very well, so he's gonna go down quick. Same with her. She's got a shield, but it's not gonna last long. Should be able to knock her over any second. Unless I miss. Retreat, retreat. She's too good. I probably don't deserve that. Kept trying to bully her over, but I couldn't. Bunk. Come on, giant 6-foot-long sword. I just got 2 little fucking cooking spoons. Oh, I almost had the second one on his head too. Oh man, I must have shocked his head pretty bad there. Hit his neck or something. Fatal. There, I'm gonna put my foot on him like I conquered the East. There you go. Good job. Up, up. Nice. Oh, to the fucking face. I've never seen this on this wall before. It's been a minute. Oh, that's a Volge. Cool. It is advised to use the polearm against the polearm, but we're gonna smack this beefy plate mill woman down here. She's got cool ass fucking armor. I want it. Oh shit, I fucked up. She's trying to bait me in. She can swing one way and follow the other way real fast. See that? Conked. Crumped again. Plate mail Ninja Gaiden's just not cutting it out. Just not cutting it. This guy's no chance though. It's the power of plate mail. You have to just wail on them until they're exhausted. last time I played this game, they just started the magic system, and I was able to like charm creatures and move them around and play as them and stuff once I got all the way up that skill tree. But I think there's more kinds of magic now, not just like the mental, psychic control undead stuff, but I think there might actually be like fireball spells and stuff. So I'm excited to see what that's like. This is definitely a fantasy game, even though right now it looks like a drunken medieval simulator. But you're hella casting spells on creatures and figuring out what happened to Sir, and which is this big mutant. This kind of has that Ultima Pagan, like Ultima 8 Pagan, Ultima Online, kind of like tons of equipment to make you a little bit better, but your character's levels and skills basically make you who you are. The items are just, you know, what you would expect. Situational, circumstantial stuff in the world that just aids you. But kind of miss that. I think a lot of games are just way too like, here's the sword of fucking God Smite lightning power, you can do backflips as long as you have it and shit. This game, your guy's pretty much a crusty human, and he only gets better through doing magic or casting or fighting. So basic level stuff reminds me of the good old games. It's not over the top. And this practice arena slightly increases the difficulty of each character that you're fighting. So like the first 7 are pretty like useless. They're not very high level. And the last guy, is probably as hard as some of the creatures get, with the exception of the giant creatures, because like I said, this game's all physics. And the bigger a creature is, it will just push you by moving its arm over your body, like, and you will literally be flying through the air, twisting, and you'll have to like slowly get back up, and then it'll just smash you with its hands or a rock or something. It's hilarious once you get into it. The extra like arena game, the official arena, not just practice arena, some of the time you get to fight this thing called the Beast, and it's just an ogre, and it has levels too, like Grandmaster Ogre is full ass plate mail and a giant bat with spikes, and it just beats your team of 3 warriors. It's hilarious. And it just throws them like ragdolls, like it just picks them up at the end of his weapon and sends you into the sky. So this is kind of redundant, but it's good practice to get used to like the balance, and your guy is trying to, you know, do what you command him to do with sidestepping and moving forward and backwards, but he has to do it based on the physics of the game. It's not like any other game where you pick a direction and then he just starts doing that, and that, you know, moving in that direction at whatever speed his walk run is set at. He's actually quite rubber boned. It's really funny, but he gets a lot more competent with higher skills, like heavy armor skills and mobility, combat mobility stuff. So they got it all tuned in. This is just kind of like sloppy drunk fest to get the practice in. See some of the basic non-magic equipment. Most of the game you're dealing with undeads, and then eventually like demon creatures. That was really bad of me to move in like that. So I like her weapon a lot. I think the pole hammer is one of the best weapons because its reach is glorious. she's got such good plate mail that I'm going to be able to take a lot of hits. Look at the coverage. So almost everywhere I am, except for maybe my back of my legs and my heels, got crazy amounts of protection. So as a secondary weapon, just in case I start to get beat down, I'll take the pole hammer. This is the practice arena's Grandmaster Black Knight guy. And he moves really fast, like he's got all the traits. He'll block and then feint. He'll step and swing at the same time after he leads you into a trap. And he has a pole axe, which is slightly faster than a pole hammer. Eh, he just beat my ass. Handily. It was the music, it got to me. It psyched me out. Alright. This dude has no chance. What's nice about the pole hammer is, in this game, I believe, you can, is it, that's how you crouch, and sometimes you can get under the ogre's arms when you fight him eventually by crouching. It's pretty fun. But I thought you could switch the weapon's direction. Flip weapon, F. Where do you go? It's actually called flip. So now I'm fighting with the piercing end of it instead of the blunt end of it, which will matter depending on what kind of person you're fighting. Like, piercing is going to be mad red damage and not as much stamina, but it's if you get a critical on flesh, hit their head or anything like that, they're going to just instantly die. If armor or not, if you use the hammer, it'll do a lot of impact, but if they're wearing a plate mail helmet, the hammer side won't do as much. You'll see that most plate mail has quite a lot of crush resistance and impact resistance, but not a lot of piercing. Like, it's not as good as that. Right in the ass. Get the fuck out of here. Should have walked forward with that one. Stabbed me with a barbecue. That's ridiculous. This guy's he's no joke. His weapon's too fast. Just ping me until I pass out from exhaustion. Flip it. I'm gonna give this guy the hammer to the face. He's so fast. I prefer to dual wield against the two-handed sword people, because he'll chip away at you. He'll hit your fingers with his super long sword. What do you think about that? You gonna think about it? There you go. That was rude. See, she's gotta get inside where I can't block her shit, but her weapons is so fast, but it's so weak against a full plate mail goon like my character at the moment. You really need a lot of momentum to do a lot of damage by the two-handed sword. The end of it's moving so fast. Alright, you're done. There you go. Right in the shoulder. Oh, if I was a little bit shorter. Alright, Junba. We're going fucking dual wield for you because you're just too fast. I submit to your two-handed sword powers. Oh, what the fuck? Get up, you idiot. Oh my god. Now he's dying from chip damage. Right in the belt. And I did a little twirly-loo celebration. Come out here. What the fuck? Should have had the camera on that side so I could see what he did. Looked like he fell over. Oh, we both thought of stabbing each other. Halberds are much faster than pole axes and hammers, though. They're pretty good. I actually might pick it up for this next fight. So you can see I got a decent crush, but he's got impact and just the balance is the same. But I believe if you look at it, it just says he moves around like a fool. It's a slightly longer weapon? Yeah, much longer. That matters. Except for when you're me. And you move too far in even when you're stabbing. Should have been a block. No, she really likes the double swing where she goes one way then follows up the other direction. I just gotta stay out of it. Or at least make it not do very much by walking all the way into it so she hits me with the end of her stick by her hands, not the very tip. She's gonna get me. Oh, what the fuck? That guy can't block the crap. That might be enough red damage to heal most of it, but I'll get all my yellow back for the last fight. Yeah, just a sliver. That's why armor matters. Look at this guy. He's so aggressive. Wants to do it down, yeah. You're kind of always stuck between letting your guy block and aiming the cursor where you think the attack's going to actually end up, and then also taking advantage of an opening. But it's such a goofy isometric view most of the time that you can mess with your perspective. But if you put your cursor on him and swing, it more often than not will hit where you're aiming. I'm just wild swinging. Same with blocking. That's why I go to top view like this, like straight down, so I can actually get the angles right. Get that fucking shit out of here. Not fast enough. Almost blocked. That's a lot of head hits with a halberd, man. Sure you're not tired? There's a character modeler, right? So you can customize your guy, like height, you know, age and musculature. It's a Cartesian graph. You kind of just slide it around, pick your guy. If you make him as tall as you can and as like chunky as you can, as well as athletic, which is a thing, you can just be a giant gore dungeon fat bastard. His balance is actually worse because like he's, you know, he's more massive. He's got a belly. His legs are really huge. But you can baseball bat people and make them do a backflip if you get the right hit. Because your guy's actually a heavier object. And it's fucking hilarious. It is frustrating in the real game to do that because most of the zombies will be shorter than you. Most people you fight will be shorter than you. And so you will actually swing over them. And that is a tedious Black Knight right there. I don't want to really restart, but like I can make him a little bigger and you can see how he's starting to grow. There, look at that. that's kind of what I was dealing with just a second ago. Was a little more skinny Black Knight, probably taller, longer range reach. You can make a short little guy, or you can just straight up go fucking Gordunkus, the dungeon fat bastard. This thing will send people sprawling. It's a good time. Yeah, we'll take the mall, and we'll just get rid of this armor so you know what you're dealing with here. Just beefikins, and we'll see if I can get a good backflip on this guy's head. Though the maul is a inferior weapon, except for the fact that it's so heavy, sends you so off balance your guy tumbles forward to swing it, and the impact is the most, like, the shock of it. Now these characters are substantial, like they're healthy humans, they're tall, they got like fucking good armor and gear and stuff, but when you start to fight the undead in the simple game or the single player, a lot of them are just weak and short, skinny undeads, and they respond to your physical power a lot differently than these well-balanced fighters. There we go. Yeah. Oh, that didn't kill her? See, I'm not even gonna let her get up because it's just too dungeon. Just too much dungeon fat happening here. Like, axes have a pretty decent impact rating, and so the Bardache is just a big heavy axe that's a little bit more elegant when it comes to the balance of it. They're a little bit more balanced, but you can get a decent impact on a Bardache, and it's also another one of those great weapons where you can send people on their ass. There are great mauls too where you get more impact even in the weight in the OG single player. And hopefully I will make some videos about the equipment and the layers, things you can do with the equipment, at least in the game. Might start over because I don't even have an arena career right now or a single player character. This is actually the first time I played this game in a while. So. This weapon is very obnoxious to block with. He stabbed me right where I'm not wearing armor, and look what it did. Just took me out completely. Oh, that was close. Oh, dungeon. Something strange about that, though, isn't there? Alright. I'm gonna leave it at that, I think. But I appreciate you guys joining me for this short little stream. Exanima, one of the best unknown games, dude. Telling you.